was booed off stage at Tyler the Creator's Camp Flog Gnaw with people expecting Frank Ocean as the surprise guest.
Man.
Is Drake no longer cool?
What? Drake is the coolest artist ever. Like
Yeah.
I don't even know why people like. How do you?
All I can say is everyone's got haters.
How do you boo
You
the
got to be great and
biggest
still
artist
carry haters.
Because they were expecting
world?
Frank Ocean. You know how
Frank
it is.
Ocean is dope. I'm a huge Frank Ocean fan.
Do you know what Flog Gnaw is?
That fuck no. Wolfgang, what you talking about?
No, but like the artists that they bring on Flog, like
I'm
Solange,
not-
ASAP Rocky, like those, like typically.
ASAP Rocky.
Yeah.
ASAP Rocky is like a superstar.
I know, but they cater more towards like R&B, and when they bring on like
Drake's not R&B.
Drake?
Drake is.
Drake's?
I wouldn't say no.
Drake's not
I
R&B.
wouldn't say Drake is
Drake.
Drake.
He's not R&B.
I don't think Drake's R&B.
What?
G
Drake is
Soldier.
What?
I don't
Drake
think.
Alright.
is the softest person in hip hop. He
fuck
has to
with
be
you.
R&B.
I wouldn't say so.
What? Drake?
Drake.
It's not R&B. Touche.
Stole your flow.
What? I'm shocked. I thought
Bar
Drake
for
was
bar,
R&B.
word
Bro,
for word.
Be more shocked. All right. Kylie Jenner made $600 million selling 51% of her cosmetics.
Shout out to my
in
little baby.
beauty and
Yeah,
makeup.
anyone who's seen the show knows that I'm a huge fan of all things Kardashian, and keeping with that, I'm happy to report that she made a bag.
She made a bag.
She made a bag.
Hey, you know what my favorite saying is? Run me that money.
She made
Run
a bag,
me that
man.
money.
I don't think that the whole 600 mil is hers.
Really?
I
You're a
mean,
fan?
I don't understand. How.
Really? You're a
Well, I mean,
fan?
you have to pay.
Of Kylie?
You're a fan?
I
Are the
love
Kardashians?
Kardashians, the show?
I love Kardashian. I love all things Kardashian.
You watch the show?
I watched the show too.
Actually, I got to
What?
meet Khloe Kardashian for a second, and their friend Jonathan. You know Jonathan?
No. Oh,
Oh,
yeah. He was on a
yeah.
phone call one time with him, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's always on the
Yeah,
show.
he's always there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
They-
actually, I picked him up in Uber, and I met Khloe
you did?
Kardashian through something.
You
else.
know
No
how
way.
you know,
What, really?
this guy knows like a bunch of famous people just from getting in Ubers.
Yeah, just Uber.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
what's up. My friend, he saw Kourtney Kardashian at Cabo. Took a picture.
Uber Blacks,
Really?
right? You do Uber Blacks?
Well, you trying to say because I'm black, I'm supposed to do Uber Black.
No, well, it's
No, I'm
black,
playing
so
with
Uber,
you. Yeah,
it's
yeah,
black,
yeah.
black.
Black on black
Wait,
on black.
don't.
Sorry, my bad.
She made a bag though, so
She made a
Absolutely.
bag.
congratulations to
Yeah,
Kylie.
congratulations to the whole family and my favorite person ever. Kanye
And while
West.
we're on the subject, Kanye Kardashian has announced his intention to run for president in 2020. Thoughts?
2020
Yeah.
or is it 2024?
No.
It's 2020.
The
2020
last
is like
one was 16.
I know, but
It's every 4 years.
I thought he was running not this year. I thought he was running next election.
I don't believe so.
He didn't want to run against Donald Trump. I thought he was under the impression that he didn't want to run against Donald Trump.
You're right. 2024.
I thought,
Clinical
if I'm not tripping. if
No,
I'm not
you're
tripping.
right. You got
Yeah.
me.
No, I'm not
You
trying
got
to get
me.
you. But we're getting this together. For
You got
sure.
me on live.
I think for sure he's getting his shit together too.
Yeah,
He's like
but
gathering himself together,
really
building
is. He's
some
preparing.
public
He's-
relations, doing all that kind of stuff,
He's
going back to God
absolutely-
with his new album,
See, that's what I don't like.
and
He's prepared.
he's setting it up.
He has to set. He's setting up the presidential
No,
campaign.
I
Life-
think even
life is-
Kim is more, and she's not. But I think
life is
she's
chess,
more
not
suited to be
checkers.
president than Kanye is.
What?
I think
No
so.
way. Kim Kardashian?
Yeah. Kim Kardashian, have you paid attention to the work?
President?
she's
Yeah.
a
You would
lawyer.
want-
She's a lawyer, but she
You
can
would want
help
Kim
Kanye.
Kardashian as your president over Kanye
I would
West?
definitely want her. All the work she's done for prison reform,
It's only been 2 years, bro.
I would love.
I mean, Kanye's been Kanye for like
So here's
10
the thing
years.
people don't understand about Kim. She doesn't have to be doing any of this. She's fine. She's got her bag.
She
She's
is
secured. And there you go. But she doesn't have to be doing the prison reform stuff, but she's still doing it. She's doing that because she actually cares. And that's what I admire about her.
Absolutely. I can't wait for the day where we'll be embarrassed to bring up Kim Kardashian's sex tape. I can't wait for the day where she's
She's past that.
No, she's not past that.
I think
She's gonna use that to she's gonna
one-
empower herself.
Yes, no, really. Like the one day, I believe that we'll be embarrassed to bring up her sex tape because she did so much great work in the community. That's my goal for her. I don't know
Hopefully.
if that's her goal for herself.
It would be. It's nice to think. wishful
Taking a
thinking.
turn into a transition, on November 12th, Chicago rapper Lil Reese was shot in the neck in a suburb in
Prayers.
South Chicago. He since then has been released from the hospital.
You guys familiar with Lil Reese?
Yes.
It's back in the day,
You know
man.
what's crazy?
It
Like,
is.
you know what's crazy about Chicago? Like, you could be in the suburbs and get shot. Dang. Like, I live in Oakland. Like, I'm safe in the suburbs. When I'm in the suburbs, I'm good. I mean, not saying there's people out here trying to kill, but like,
I feel it.
but like,
Have you ever been to Chicago?
You got ops.
I have been to Chicago.
Yeah,
I
I've
went
been
to
to
Chicago
Chicago.
to see my best friend like last summer.
Oh yeah.
It was really dope. I love Chicago. I
Oh, really?
did. I love the city. I love the culture. It's like a fast paced, like really like cool culture, but it's deep. It's a violent city. But it's,
No, yeah, I feel it.
Damn, like
I
any
feel
city,
it.
huh?
Yeah, just like any major urban
Yeah.
like metropolitan city, there's violence.
Yeah, but Chicago's been notorious for
Absolutely for the
yeah.
last like 5 to it's like the
And we're gonna go right along. I know y'all have heard about this. Ti. He was doing the Ladies Like Us podcast, and he said he takes his 18-year-old daughter, Deja,
Deja,
to the
shout out to all
gyno
the
to have her
Dejas.
hymen checked. He went on to say he compels his daughter to sign a waiver, allowing Ti
That's
to see the
awkward.
results of the gynecological
That's-
exam.
Wait, I have one question.
that's
How just curiosity, you know? I don't have any opinion on this yet, but how old is the daughter?
18.
18 years old?
Yeah.
And he's basically controlling her sexual life.
I'm sure there's a financial.
Yeah, there you go. See, that's what a lot of people
I'm sure
say.
there's a financial incentive in there for her keeping her virginity.
An allowance.
However, I don't. That's a little awkward. You know what I mean? Like to check
big
your
awkward.
daughter, to check your daughter's like hymen.
Every year on her birthday.
Yikes! You know what? I love Ti, and you know he must do it. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. He must be doing it for a reason, and that check must be fat. But if I had a daughter, I might want to get her hymen checked too.
Really?
I mean,
Really?
not like that.
That's a
but
hot
like,
take.
It's a hot,
Hymens
That's a
can
hot take
rip.
on
They can
recess.
rip just when you're
yeah,
when
on
you're
the
young
bike.
or
Like
when
my
you're,
ex girlfriend, her hymen ripped when she was 12. On the
What?
bike. But I was like, maybe this is out of
12
pocket.
years old?
Well, I don't know.
Okay,
This is
well
out-
I've
this
heard
is
that
awkward.
it can
I don't wanna
happen.
talk
It
about
can
this
happen
anymore.
many different ways. It can happen many different
Yeah,
ways.
that's
But
like
Like
let's
you
say-
don't. Nobody
let's
wants to
say-
think about their daughter. Like,
Let's say it's
having
already
sex.
happened. Let's say it's already happened.
I
They don't
feel
know
it.
any better.
I don't want to think about it.
All right, well
I'm done
that's
with
that. We're gonna just end it there. We're gonna go to a quick break. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at East Bay Live. Do you guys want to add anything before we go to break?
No, we'll be back.
All right, we out.
We'll be back.
Come down with me, won't be a next time. My balance fades away. In deep love me like the devil. I cannot break away. Clouds falling red in all directions. I'm not myself today.
Go there. Okay.
And we're back. Welcome back to Recess. I'm here with Yuri and Reggie. So we got some interesting news coming up. We had something heavy come up pretty earlier, so I want to just lighten it up. So in lighter news, a 19-year-old woman gave birth to a baby at a French nightclub in
Toulouse, France. The baby was delivered by the club staff before
Thank you.
medics arrived at the scene. The manager, Marie-Helene, said the nightclub will offer the infant free admission for life.
Hey, shout out to that baby.
Hey,
Shout
I
out
heard
to
that-
that
shout out to
baby.
that
I
baby.
also heard that if you were born in Disneyland, you also got like a lifetime membership. If you were born in Disneyland,
I
and
heard
then they
you-
stopped doing that because pregnant women would go in
Well-
there like ready to burst, and it just be
Well,
like,
is anybody trying to make a
boom.
baby at Disneyland?
I heard that if you can't die at Disneyland, you know,
You can't die at Disneyland.
you can't. They can't. If you die at Disneyland, they have to take you outside of the premises and then pronounce you dead. So you can never die at Disneyland.
I don't trust Disney.
that's
I don't trust Disney.
that's some words on paper.
No, but
Damn,
yeah,
because you could die at Disney. Last breath could be at Tomorrowland.
yeah.
Tomorrowland. Your last breath is at Tomorrowland. Yeah, you're going to see Tomorrowland, all
I can't
right.
imagine dying at
the
Disneyland.
irony.
The irony forever.
So Kodak Black was sentenced to 46 months for possession of an illegal firearm in Florida. He has since stated that he would like to earn a college degree in business marketing while serving his allotted time. That is another one of my favorite rappers that's
Really?
doing a bid.
Yes. I mean, my only take on Kodak is just that, like, I hope he can, like, him and Gucci are really good friends, and I hope he can take a, take a page out of his playbook, and, come back different, like, come back changed, reformed, and really take the time that, he's been able to, the time that he has, and use it productively and positively, and come out as a better person, because that's really what the time is for when you have money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's coming home to money. So all he has to do is focus on himself.
Yeah, I will say that, and the judge let him know. I don't know if you guys been keeping up with the story, but the judge told him that young people do stupid things, but the problem is, and he told this to Kodak, is you've been doing stupid things since you were 15. Like, he's been in jail for like, this is like the 4th time.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I mean, I like Kodak. I love Kodak, you know, but I mean,
Yeah.
you have fans, bro. Like, what? Come
Yeah,
on,
but
bro.
I mean, I think it gets deeper than just like when people come from these neighborhoods. Like, it's like a huge.
No, I feel you on that.
You know what I mean? Like
I
you
feel
gotta,
that.
you want to stay true to who you are.
Yeah.
You want to, but then it's like, you know, I don't know. It's a complex, you know, dichotomy of
I
like
hear
what
you.
it takes to be a superstar and have fans, and to also remain true to yourself and the people.
All right. Well,
It's
we're
the
wishing
ethics.
Kodak the best. Free
Stay
Kodak.
true. Free Kodak in 46 months.
Yeah, free
let,
TK.
let him do that time first. I don't want Kodak. I don't want to see Kodak in the streets.
Well,
I think Bobby would rather
we got
do that.
another celebrity out
85%.
here who a lot of people used to look up to, and I don't know if you guys remember, but he got banned for showing dead bodies in a
a dead
in a forest in Japan. I'm talking about Logan Paul, but he had a boxing match that was with the English YouTuber KSI, and KSI won by controversially split decision. So did you know he was even training?
I heard.
Yeah,
about
I
Logan
saw
Paul.
some things on
So
Snapchat,
you guys didn't watch the
but I
fight?
didn't watch the fight. No, did you?
Okay, I know what people are thinking. Is like, who would pay to see? Because you have to pay to watch it. I didn't pay, but I wanted. I saw it. I'm gonna be honest with you. It wasn't bad. It was a pretty good fight. Like they clearly knew what they were doing. I couldn't do what they did. Like they were doing good.
Yeah,
They were doing good.
For sure.
All
It was
right,
fun.
that's good.
Shout out to boy Chris for having the illegal stream.
Shout out to Chris. Hey,
That-
everybody. Yeah, shout out to Chris. I know
That's
we
me.
all have
1,
a
2,
Chris.
3 movies. No, I'm just playing.
One,
two,
What
three.
Chris are you talking about?
Modesto Chris.
Yeah, see,
Big
not
Homes.
Modesto Chris.
All right,
Yeah.
the plug.
Modesto.
All right, you guys ready to answer the internet's weirdest questions?
Hit me with your
Not
best
really, but
shot. Hit me with
we
your
go.
best shot.
All right, I'm gonna get you a soft one. It's like, would you rather a dog dies every time you laugh, or every time you sneeze, a quarter tank of gas is used from your car? I'll start with you, Reggie.
Ooh, God, you guys are gonna hate me for this answer. I'm
gas is
sorry.
expensive.
I do not like dogs that much. I'm not an animal person.
No,
I'm
let
just
him
a-
answer.
I'm not an animal person. But since I don't have a car, I'm gonna just say a quarter tank of gas is used for my car.
Shit was
Because
easy for you.
It was easy. It wasn't easy because if I had my car, it'd probably be a completely different answer. But since I don't have a car, I'm safe by the bell.
You?
What about me? What about you?
I'll answer. You want me to answer?
Um,
I'll
yeah.
definitely do the quarter tank. You laugh way more than you sneeze,
I do laugh way more than I sneeze.
and I
Yeah,
can
I
catch
laugh a lot.
I
I
can catch
laugh
my
a lot.
sneeze.
But you know how many dogs there are?
You know how many
They're probably,
stray dogs there are
Yeah,
out
there's
there?
a lot. I mean, like
In the
I would-
world. I'm talking about the
feel it.
world. Like,
I
I've been
laugh
to
a lot,
I've been to
though.
Mexico.
I don't want to kill no dogs, bro, but I do laugh a lot. I'm laughing right now, so that means that's like 4 dogs.
But you
up
see,
there.
you guys aren't thinking.
This
clear.
question's
You can
mean.
hold a sneeze.
This is
You
mean.
can catch yourself from sneezing. All you gotta do is.
I cannot. I can hold myself from laughing. I just have to be a serious person forever.
This is a mean question. Okay, how about this one? Would you rather date an ugly rich person with a bad personality, or a dirt poor good looking person with an amazing personality?
That's easy.
Yeah,
That's easy.
which one?
I have an
easy.
infatuation for pretty women, so I'm always gonna take a pretty chick over
The dirt
ugly
poor
chick.
one.
I concur.
And I'm
I'll
gonna
go
be.
with it.
I don't plan
agree.
on being
I agree.
like broke. So
Wait,
I
but
mean, yeah, I mean when you have money, can't you
Wait,
just like
what did you say?
what?
Here we go. Ready?
What?
You could add inches to your height, but for every inch you add, you lose 5 years off your life. So
I'm
what do you?
6 foot. I'm 6 foot, bro. I'm good.
You're
I'm
not
chill.
going on?
Yeah, no, I'm 6 foot. I'm cool. Like I'm above the average height. I'm not gonna.
No,
add
he's fine.
Yeah, I'm
He's
good.
chill.
I'm sorry, y'all.
I'll put in 3 inches.
3 inches.
3
That's 15
inches?
years, my dude.
Yeah.
15 years. Who wants to live till 90?
What if you're only gonna be like 50?
What if
Who says you're gonna be
live
lived till 90?
You're gonna make it to 35 now.
What's, bro? Global
Yeah.
warming? Those
Go-
scientists? It's over.
All right, man.
It's
We're
over.
gonna cut to a break. And then you know what? I think our crew's signaling us. We're gonna end, guys.
Are we about to wrap it up?
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
I think.
well,
I think
That's it.
we
We had fun
carried
up
the
here.
time.
let's put some saran wrap on this and take it to go.
I hear you.
Oh.
Break.
Oh, they want us to go on break.
Oh,
All right, we'll be
break.
back.
We'll be back.
Here we go.
For sure.
Have you ever told a lie? Would you do it all again?
We're doing this again?
Yeah. All right,
And
welcome back, and continuing with our general questions. I got another one. If
Okay.
you had to pick one person representing the Earth to meet the aliens, who would it be?
Reggie.
Obama.
Obama. Easy. What? Obama's like, to meet the aliens?
Yeah. So he would be like the ambassador to Earth.
That's absolutely. What? Who? I mean, for Earth?
Earth. The whole Earth.
Earth. Damn.
Earth.
Earth. I think, like, who would you guys choose?
I would have Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan? That's a good one.
That's a good one.
I rock with Joe Rogan.
Yeah. That one's fire.
You.
Me?
Yeah.
You choose me to meet the aliens?
Bro,
Why?
you'd be so peaceful.
No.
You'd be like, let's get in a circle and let's just pass
And
this little thing around, bro.
Absolutely.
Let's be
and let's
peaceful.
chill. And let's talk. And let's have a good time.
No, I think Joe Rogan would be.
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman.
Get out of
He
here.
is an alien.
I don't know, man.
That's the one NBA player you would pick out?
Out of everybody?
Yeah. Dennis
Dennis
Rodman?
Rodman?
Wait a minute.
All you could do was pull up.
He's friends with Kim Jong Un. He could befriend anyone.
Touche. That's that. If he's friends with Kim Jong Un.
No, Joe Rogan is the most level-headed person I know, so.
From the
Joe
NBA?
Rogan's like. I you know I gotta watch more Joe Rogan.
Not Joe.
podcasts.
Nah, Joe Rogan's not, bro. I used to. Wasn't he on Fear Factor?
He was on.
He
Fear
almost fucking took. He almost took someone's head off in
Factor.
Fear Factor.
did.
They stepped up to him.
Man,
What's he gonna do?
He was
Yeah, but
mad.
Joe
But
Rogan
you,
can
if
fight,
you're
though. I like people
level-headed,
who are-
you stay
who are-
level-headed.
Who are in control of who have power, and they don't use their power for bad. And that's one real reason I like Joe Rogan because he uses his power for good, positive.
Yeah.
things.
No,
Like,
he's
always use
just.
your power for
I
positive.
feel like he's level-headed and he'll listen to both sides of like an issue. He had
Okay.
Alex Jones on his show. I mean, that just tells you all you need to know. Alex Jones, another good one. All right, moving right along. Would
You
you
only
rather
pick one
spend the rest of your life blind or with one leg?
Wait, how
It's a
many-
good one.
One leg because I got an extra leg anyway. I'm
Five.
joking.
Got
I'm joking. And I'm joking. That
You
was
wild
my
for
bad.
that.
I was sorry.
This is a wild episode of Recess. We need to bring Reggie on more often.
I'm making a rational thought choice here, so I'm gonna go with the blind.
What?
I would go blind too,
Never. Why
Yeah.
would I go
Yeah.
blind, bro?
because then the
Yeah.
rest of your
I have
senses
a
would be
wheelchair.
heightened.
I have a wheelchair, but I don't want to not
But
see.
I
bro. I
wanna-
just told
I
you
wanna
I
walk.
love
I
pretty
wanna
people.
walk.
You know what,
Bro, if I
Daredevil?
can't see pretty people, then I can't. Like,
You
what am I
can
doing?
hear pretty personality.
You can like train your seeing eye dog to be like, hey,
Jeremiah,
yeah.
like Ray Charles, and
Yeah,
just,
yeah,
like
yeah,
the- and she got a big wrist. That's still I'm cool. I'll take one leg
All right, one leg.
and a
Blind
wheelchair.
and blind, so
One,
that's
one
two for
leg and a
blind.
wheelchair. Because by the time I get old, bro, we'll have bionic legs, and I can just add a bionic leg, and I'm good. I never lost nothing.
All right.
Okay.
What is one fictional character you would like to fight if you had the chance?
Scott Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim.
What?
Scott Pilgrim. Easy, because I know I can beat him up.
You?
I'm going for a challenge.
I'm
you
sorry.
going?
I'm going for Darth Vader.
Darth Vader?
Vader?
Well, Darth Vader's
That's an
smarter
L,
than us.
bro.
Darth
Bro.
Vader, bro, he's gonna use the force and choke you out.
That's a
I'm gonna-
self-inflicted
Bro,
L.
let's go. Come on.
Scott Pilgrim, easy.
I can use the
Pilgrim.
force
Scott
too. Watch out.
What about a real one?
What do you mean?
A real person?
A real person?
Yeah.
To fight?
Bro, you don't believe in the force? May the force be with you.
A real person to fight. Like I don't be fighting people, bro. I'm not fighting nobody.
I like that answer.
Yeah, I'm not fighting nobody. Not in real life. Like,
yeah,
if
but
it
he's
was-
gotta give an answer.
No.
I have to give an
You
answer?
don't get away with not giving an answer.
All right, if there was one person I would fight, I don't know.
It's
I
alright.
don't-
It's a hard question.
Yeah,
I
you-
don't- I don't
give
have
more
like,
time.
I can't. I'm on YouTube Live right now.
Silence
I
is
might be
valuable.
live.
Let's
So,
go.
I don't want to just somebody just.
You guys want to skip it?
I mean, I don't know. This, well, I answered my the fake person with Scott Pilgrim. Easy.
Alright.
I
Would
love
you-
the movie.
Would you rather get a small face tattoo with your ex's initials or a whole chest hat of their face?
Never. I get it. Her initials are AB, so
Why
I
am
can
I in
do
that
like the alphabet.
situation? Like,
AB.
why am I in that situation?
Is there the weirdest
Why am
question?
I
Hey, you gotta
do it.
answer the question. Bro.
You gotta
Like
answer
you
it.
said, you
Why
gotta
am I
answer
gonna
the
do
question.
that? Okay, I'm probably just gonna put the initials.
Yeah, on my face.
AB, yeah.
On
It's
your face?
AB. Like her initials are AB, so like that's like A B C D.
You can choose.
Yeah,
You
He's
can
gonna
have
have,
more than
the,
one
he's gonna have
X.
the alphabet like
just
coming
be
down.
like AB, right? Just like that.
But if you have it on your chest, no one will really see it.
I'm not looking at my ex girlfriend on my chest forever. That means my wife has to look at my ex
I
girlfriend. Like
feel
why
it.
she's like never mind. I'm not even gonna go to the
And the
visualization,
last
I should
one,
say.
we're gonna wrap it up real quick. What song should they play at your funeral?
Which song?
Hell no. You guys ever heard the song? Hell no. Hell to the no no. Y'all never heard that song?
That's in Vine.
Yeah, that's the song. I
It's
went
not a
to
song, bro.
That's a song.
Is that what qualifies for song in 2019?
Hey,
Vine?
that's the song I went at my funeral. Hell no.
Just
Hell to
over
the
on repeat?
No. I don't know. We gotta play it. If we can
Alright.
play it, that'd be dope.
What about you?
Don't do that.
I was looking it up.
Oh, my God. That was a good one.
You guys watch
Uh,
Regular Show?
No.
No?
No.
Well, the intro to
Cartoon
Regular
Network?
Show, the little boo, that's what would play at my funeral. Google it. It's
Or,
funny.
or the Undertaker theme song.
That'd be fire.
Dude, I want some Vicente Fernandez slapping at my funeral.
All right.
What'd you say?
That's weird. I mean,
Vicente Fernandez.
Oh, okay. Vicente Fernandez.
that's weird.
Vicente Fernandez.
No, it's not.
That's okay. That's an artist. What a song.
Volver.
Volver.
Yeah.
You know what that means?
Volver.
It means
Oh,
come back.
Come back?
Yeah.
Baby, come back. You could blame it all on me. No, not that.
I'm gonna choose for you, Chris. You're getting dance
Nah, bro,
now
I'm going with that
from
one.
CNC Music Factory.
What's that?
You ever heard Dance Now?
No.
Everybody dance now. All right. I think this is the last one, guys.
It would still be a
Would you
party.
go back to being 10 years old knowing that you know now, knowing what you know now, or receive $1 million on the spot right now?
I'll take the million.
So basically, do a
I would
do-over.
go 10. I would go back 10 years.
I like that.
Knowing what I know now, because I would make $1 million easy.
Yeah.
If I knew what I knew now,
Yeah, just bet on the Super Bowl every year.
or just don't make stupid decisions, Reggie, and you'd be a millionaire. Like, I mean, for me, that like I feel like I'd be a millionaire if I just
Be
didn't
an
do
early
dumb shit.
investor in
But
Uber.
you gotta have the idea too. Like, what would you do?
I don't know. I'd do something.
An early investor in Uber is a pretty good one. I'd probably invest in
Ooh.
Amazon.
All right.
Amazon?
Yeah.
Oh, Amazon was booming 10 years ago. I mean, it was still expensive 10 years ago. Uber wasn't. Uber, that's a good one. Whoever said that was a really good one.
Yeah,
Uber.
Uber.
2009. It would
Yeah.
be 10 years. It started in like 2009, so it'd be like 10 years exactly.
I feel that one. So we're gonna. That's all we got.
What?
That's all we
We
got
got to
for
the
you.
end of the show.
It's it's
Man.
looking like it.
Well, I do appreciate y'all for having me on. This
No,
is
we
my
appreciate you.
No, this is my first time being on your show, and I was like, yo, I really want to do this show before the semester's over, so thank you guys for having me.
Am I gonna
man.
ball you up later?
I have a championship game, intramural championship game tonight at, I don't know what time it is, but
So
if
you
guys
can't
wanna
risk
come-
injury.
No.
No, if you
not
guys want to
today.
come, if you guys want to come to the game, come support. We're gonna win the championship. I'm just gonna.
Okay.
We're going to win the championship. That's
Yeah.
Leandro
For sure.
Barbarossa. That was Leandro.
I like
Barbarossa.
that.
Yeah,
I
we're
like
gonna
that
win.
mentality. Tunnel
I
vision.
mean, I'm not. Come through.
All right.
All right. So
What time? What time?
8.
All right. Yeah, that's typically. I did
7,
the volleyball
8.
championship yesterday, and
It was
we
8.
lost.
Oh, you guys lost?
Yeah.
Bro, I'm gonna win it for you.
We got
I'm gonna win it
second.
for, no, I
All
promise
right,
you.
love
I'm gonna
you,
win
love
it
you,
for you,
3,000,
Heck
bro.
no.
Do
Heck
it for
no.
me.
For the media, for what's this? 496.
For the 496A for
For
East
4-
Bay Live.
496A.
All right, but that's gonna be
All
it
right,
for us.
Yeah, well, that's going to be it for us. This is going to be another episode of Recess. We got one more later on in 2 weeks. But thank you so much for listening, and we love you guys 3,000. We'll be back.
We love you 3,000.
I keep just selling your rings. Sometimes I might say the wrong thing to you. I keep just selling your rings. Finally realize what I mean to you.
You can call on me. But you put it all on me. You know you can call on me. But you put it all on me.
Voicemails on the cellular. Ego swelling up. Hope she keep me regular. Damn near billionaire. Dreams I'm selling up. Can't tell if it's real, girl, you know me well enough. Can't harass her for nothing, I don't be acting or frontin'. All that yapping and fussing, gon' have me macking, not cuffing. You ain't see me in a minute, check your tone, lil' mommy. You got me on my roamy Roma, you can't call nobody. Gotta hit ignore, but you steady calling. Too much going on, hit you in the morning. Got me in my zone, you got me performing. Wake me up at 5, want it when I'm yawning. Want the police on me. Get hard to be with me, rough like police on me. Feeling the effect, I won't do the stress now. I won't reply if I get the text now. I keep just selling your rings. Sometimes I might say the wrong thing to you. I keep just selling your rings. Finally realize what I mean to you.
You can call on me. But you put it all on me. You know you can call on me. But you put it all on me.
Voicemails on the cellular. Time felling us, I know I give you hell enough. No, I ain't available, I know I said enough. Couple things you never show, but I can tell what's up. If anybody posed to, then you should understand me. You knew the plan since the man was mobbing in the Camry. All you ever did was ask me, I let you have me, then put you past me. You wonder why, do you badly? Girl, I'm on a chase, tryna run it up. And make no mistake, you know what it was. I know when to give you space, when to give you love. How to keep you in your place, fuck you like a thug. Girl, I know you seen it. I'm somebody to believe in, practice what I'm preaching. Ain't afraid to lose out on the man, but you still got the selling ringing loud on your man. I keep it selling your rings. Sometimes I might say the wrong thing to you. I keep it selling your rings. Finally realize what I mean to you.
You know you can call on me, but you put it all on me. You know you can call on me, but you put it all on me.
Wasting my time, I despise, yeah, yeah. My favorite lie is disguise, yeah, yeah. Saying to my eyes, I survive, yeah, yeah. Why I'm surprised that I'm blind, yeah, yeah. I got receipt for my time, yeah, yeah. It ain't too cheap, stay alive, yeah, yeah. Victim of my pride by design, yeah, yeah. I can't reply cause I'm high, yeah, yeah. Ride or die. My oh my, still I can't decide. Promise I won't lie. Ride or die. My oh my, still I can't decide. Promise I won't lie. fly surround me, but ain't shit sweet. The buzz don't peak. Nah, me and don't speak. Not content, just complete. Ain't no love I seek. I trust my peace. Not much above my reach. Easy for me to tell when you was doing wrong. It's all in your face. It's all in your tone. Your hatred for me seeping all through your bones. You don't wear well, can't leave karma alone. My greed soften, who jacking, who beanstalking. I lean often, gravity got the bees crawling. Wings is useless, all your tea is proofless. We drop tops easy, all my dreams are ruthless now. Ride or die, my oh my. Still I can't decide. Promise I won't lie. Ride or die, my oh my. Still I can't decide. Promise I won't lie. Give it away, give it away. What can you say? Don't know what I'll do. Look at my face, look at my face. What can you say? Don't know what I'll do. Yeah. Want reaction, I've been absent. She say fucking with me going backwards. Shawty spoke too soon, don't do the fast words. It's okay cause I like being alone. I'm in different zone, I cannot control now. Got too high, don't pass the door. I can't touch the flow, I can see my soul now. Yeah, don't wanna think, just want the pink. She got that quicksand, I hit her on the sink. Yeah, right where I found you. Went too deep, I drowned you. Oh, yeah. Want reaction, I've been absent. I'm in different zone, I cannot control now. Give it away, give it away. What can you say? Don't know what I'll do. Look at my face, look at my face. What can you say? Don't know what I'll do.
But you know I've been losing yourself at 2 a.m. Going through the drugs and the booze again. Climbing on the roof again, screaming that you're losing it. Then jumping in the pool again, man. The rumors are in, and they're as good as they get. But I don't care about pills and the high dosage. So I'm high awake. This is how I survive my days. High in the haze. I'll wipe my mistakes with the lights out right. Then I find a place where I can hide away during this cold weather. My attitude can never give any cold. Chill on my chest is the cold till when nothing grows ever. Man, I'm so bitter. If I continue drinking this way, I'll have no living. It doesn't matter though, I'm cleaning my face.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of East Bay Benchwarmers. My name is Ryan Duarte, as always.
I am still Ed Soper.
Still, we have Ed Soper here.
Always.
We had a special show here for you guys. Hope you guys are doing well so far. This beautiful Thursday afternoon, we're coming to you here live from the beautiful Hayward Hills in California. Cal State East Bay Live right here. Make sure you guys follow us on social media at East Bay Benchwarmers, as well as on Instagram at East Bay Live. And then we also have CSU East
There
Bay
you
Live.
go.
Pardon me. Our Twitter is at East Bay Live, so make sure you guys give us a follow there as well. Facebook, we are no more, but we are on Apple Podcasts as well as SoundCloud, so make sure you guys follow us on those, also at East Bay Live as well. So we got a special show. We got a lot here going on. We got an all-star epidemic here, where Ed and I are going to tackle a little bit. Why don't you give us a little rundown here, Eddie?
So it's going to be in two parts. We're going to start today with the East. Ryan will touch on the NBA. I will touch on the NHL. We know the sports a little better than the other one. And then when we come back 2 weeks from now in our Season 3 and Series finale, we're going to be showing the highlights and the All-Stars that we picked from the Western Conferences of both the NBA and the NHL again. And it's going to be really fun. I had a good time doing this. Picks might change in a couple weeks depending on how these players end up progressing with their season. So we're actually going to roll highlight of Ryan's pick for most improved player of the year for the second year in a row in the NBA.
And
Pascal
look, man,
Siakam.
it is really early in the season right now, but I am really, really impressed right now with Pascal Siakam. He really has a chance to win Most Improved Player 2 times in a row. It's kind of unprecedented, but this guy went from about 12 points per game 2 years ago, goes to 19 points per game last year, and now he's at 25 points per game, sitting at 52% field goal percentage. Really, really impressive stuff right here. He's a big reason why the Raptors are doing so well this year. Kyle Lowry has been dealing with a thumb injury as of now. Fred VanVleet has been playing really well so far, 17 points per game, about 7.5 assists per game as well. But I mean, it's kind of funny, man. You wouldn't really expect this from the Raptors team losing Kawhi Leonard and everything. But Pascal Siakam, huge reason why the Raptors are doing well. And right now, I have him locked in at the power forward position for the Eastern Conference. Kind of moving on for the point guard position, Kyrie Irving. Can't say enough about this guy. 29 points per game, about 5.5 assists per game as well. Look, man, this guy, there's a reason why the Nets winning got him. He's a guy that you can just go one-on-one and go find a bucket when it's necessary. And I find it really impressive how, the Nets have done okay so far this year. They haven't done, too poorly. But, once Kevin Durant comes back next year, it's going to be looking really, really good for the Brooklyn Nets. So they have a bright future ahead of them.
For the first time in a long time.
For the first time in a long time, man. And, you Brooklyn fans out there, ride or die sitting back in the day, when Jason Kidd was around, when they played the L.A. Lakers. It's been a long time coming for Brooklyn fans, I'd say. But, Nets have a bright future. Kind of diving right into the shooting guard position. You're going to love this one, Eddie.
I already know where this is going, and I'm pretty happy about it.
Yeah, he's loving this one, but Bradley Beal has had a hell of a year so far to start.
And we're still 4-8? I think we're 5-6 now, actually.
5-6, not bad.
Not terrible, actually.
Not a bad record, but considering the talent on the team, I'm sure a lot of people didn't really expect the Washington Wizards to have that great of a year.
What are you trying to say?
But Bradley Beal has had an incredible season so far. Definitely a big reason why. About 45% field goal percentage, as well as three-point percentage sitting also at 45%. I think is really, really impressive. He's had an incredible streak the last couple games, about, I think, more than 40 points per game in the last two contests. I can't argue anyone else at the shooting guard position. The East, a lot of decent guards, but, moving on to the front court, we already talked about Pascal Siakam, Giannis Antetokounmpo. This guy,
He's a lock.
I mean, he's a, let's be honest, he's a lock. He's probably going to get the most fan votes just because, you know, the way the All-Star voting works for the NBA is basically, you know, you have the top players in each conference, and then moving on there, you kind of go on to the player pick. So you have 2 team captains, and then they pick through there. For this, obviously, we're sticking with the Eastern Conference. Giannis is going to be a captain this year. I think we already know it. LeBron is probably going to be a captain again as well. I think that's, you know, my little sneak peek for the West right now. But kind of moving on again, I mean, Giannis Antetokounmpo, they're basically a lock. Joel Embiid is my center for the Eastern Conference. And, you know, a lot of people could say, oh, Andre Drummond, you know, averaging like 18 boards per game as well as 16 points per game. Obviously, you know, been really impressive leading in that department for rebounds. For me, yeah, Joel, you know, has a little bit less field goal percentage. I think he's around 45, 46% field goal percentage, which is decent. But for a center, you know, like let's say Andre Drummond, who's averaging around 53% field goal percentage, that is a little more impressive. That being said, Joel doesn't really turn the ball over quite as much, in my opinion, as well as, you know, having that scoring threat from the outside is really huge. He's shooting about 35% from deep. You don't really have that with Andre Drummond, and for that reason, I think that, you know, he'll be a lock for that center position. And now going into the reserves, you know, man, I had a really tough time here looking at these reserves for the Eastern Conference. And while I can agree that the Eastern Conference is not as deep necessarily as the West, it was still a very tough choice. But to kind of go right here, Trae Young was my obvious first pick here. He's having an incredible year. You know, he does average the second most turnovers per game behind only James Harden. That being said, this guy is going to be a star in this league for sure, as opposed to another star in the West, which we'll be talking about next week. But, man, can't say enough about Trae Young. He's averaging a little more than 25 points per game, as well as about 8 assists per game. Really, really big numbers. Atlanta has a bright future ahead of them. And then moving on to that shooting guard, someone that has surprised me and that could also contend for most improved player. Malcolm Brogdon for the Indiana Pacers has had an incredible year. He's been out for a little bit with a back injury so far. But it's pretty incredible to see a guy he's pretty much the number one option for Indiana right now. 18 points per game, 9 assists per game, just under that. He has been the main facilitator for these guys. Man, Malcolm Brogdon, if he's not the starting shooting guard because one Bradley Beal is starting there for the Washington Wizards.
Hope so.
I hope so. But he is a lock for me for that second shooting guard position. And for the small forward, Jimmy Butler, he did miss a couple games there beginning of the season for the Miami Heat. That being said, he hasn't really missed a step. Yeah, he's not shooting great from 3 right now. I think he's just about above 28% from 3, which is serviceable.
It's better than I could do.
Better than I can do, for sure. You know, I mean, it's better than Russell Westbrook, who's at 22%.
We're not talking about the West, though.
But we're not.
It's really fun to make fun of him for me.
Oh my gosh, I love the Westbrook slander. I'm kidding, Russell. We love you.
Well,
But you know, he's had a good year so far. Jimmy Butler, I think, will be a lock, as well as one Jason Tatum. Now, the reason why I mentioned Jason Tatum, he's over 20 points per game this year, which is really huge. But the Celtics have had a great start to the year record-wise so far. Kemba Walker has played really well for them as well. Tatum is kind of their cog in their system. He kind of reminds me, maybe he doesn't really remind me of Kobe, but he has a really good mid-range game as far as in the post, as well as, you know, stepping back from 3. We all saw that highlight last night, hopefully, of Jason Tatum kind of crossing Paul George to oblivion. And that was not great, but, you know, Jason Tatum, my lock for the power forward spot in the East. Kind of wrapping up here for these last 2 spots. I did have Andre Drummond as that backup center. Pretty easy. I mean, it's pretty easy to lock him in there. A lot of decent centers in the East so far. Vucevic has been really good this year, but he'll be out for 4 to 6 weeks with an ankle injury. So I have Andre Drummond here stepping up, especially with the emergence of Blake Griffin. Luke Kennard has been playing very well as well in that shooting guard position. I think he's been shooting pretty well so far. But yeah, Andre Drummond looking good so far. Now, speaking of which, we do have 2 reserve positions, 2 last-minute positions for each conference. I'm going to tackle both of those, both a forward and a guard. Now, for this forward position, I do have Blake Griffin going in there. Can't really debate on Griffin's talent so far. He's had a pretty good start to the year, not great, but again, like Drummond, the combination of Detroit's record at, I believe it's 4-10 right now, not a great position to be in right now, but talent-wise, that front court is one of the best in the league, bar none. I think Blake gets a lock in that final reserve spot for the forward position in the East. Now, moving on to the guard position. This one was tough for me. There's a good amount of guards. I could have gone Bogdanovic. Could have gone either way.
Dragic is needs to be in the discussion.
Could have gone Dragic. Dragic definitely deserves it. Heat are playing extremely good basketball right now. I think there's no debate. Eric Spoelstra, could be in contention for Coach of the Year so far. But I am going to. I don't know, man. My heart told me Kemba. He's fantasy-wise, I have a couple friends saying, he hasn't stepped up to the plate and everything. But he's still averaging 23 points a game, a little over 5 assists a game as well. The Celtics are playing really good ball right now, so I can't, debate on whether or not they're winning or not. So for that reason, I think for me, Kemba locks in on that last guard spot. So we're going to take a quick break real quick. When we come back, Eddie right here is going to dive into the NHL All-Star, and we'll kind of explain how that works. Make sure you guys follow us on social media at East Bay Benchwarmers. Make sure you follow us on our Instagram at CSU East Bay Live, as well as our Twitter at East Bay Live. We'll be right back.
I feel like I'm the luckiest man alive on the planet. It won't be to my advantage if I take your love for granted. No, beauty fades, but attraction stays. I love the way you walk and talk, how you enunciate with perfect manners. But still a fan of rap music and my Oakland grammar. So now I plan to have a full house with you, girl. I'm talking DJ and Michelle Tanner, living in the crib with high ceiling size of Wayne Manor, spending holidays in Colorado, playing Secret Santa, fly back to SFO for New Year's and extended family. Yeah, cause you're the baddest girl I ever seen. Longevity is in your jeans, your beauty's evergreen. I mean, you can wear sweats and I bet I would still be sweating you like I'm trying to make the team. Like I'm running cross country at 97 degrees. Like I'm in the sauna with cashmere socks on my feet. Until death do us part, I'ma give you my heart till it's gone, till it's gone, till it's gone, till it's gone, till it's gone. Until death do us part, I'ma give you my heart till it's gone, till it's gone, till it's gone, till it's gone, till it's gone. Until death do us part, I'ma give you my heart till it's gone, till it's gone, till it's gone, till it's gone, till it's gone. I'ma give you my heart till it's gone. And as for being supportive in spite of my poor performance, seeing potential in me that normally lies dormant, I was answering phones and greeting folks like a doorman. You noticed my ambition superseded my position and gave me some words of wisdom on what's really most important. I remember when I first had the goal to invite you and your friends to Valentine's Day salsa. You said I think my brother and his girl are in town, but really you was thinking how do I get rid of this clown? And I was thinking bring a boat so we could really get down, cause I've never been in love before.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another installment of East Bay Benchwarmers.
The second to last.
Dude, look at this.
The
Look at
chemistry.
that. Hey, look at us. Look at us.
That's a dead meme already.
Who would have thought, man? Nah,
Please stop.
it
hurts me.
It's pretty incredible, man. 3 seasons so far. We're about to wrap up here real quick. Speaking of wrapping up, I've kind of been talking a lot, to be honest, and that's a lot of basketball at once. I'm gonna let Eddie here explain the NHL side of things.
Okay, so I'm gonna go a little quicker because let's be honest. There's not there's more players out on the ice in the NHL. Not everyone gets a chance to stand out. So I'm gonna kick it off with my favorite division, the Atlantic Division, home of my Boston Bruins. So I'm gonna start with the team captain. I think should be, again, a little bit of a Bruins fan here. David Pastrnak. He's got 17 goals last I checked. He's absolutely leading one of the best lines the best line in hockey with him, Brad Marchand, and Patrice Bergeron. Boston is at the top of the Eastern Conference, I believe, right now. I know they're top of the division. I don't think anyone else really deserves it. He's been outstanding. I can't say enough about him without trying to sound like I only talk about Bruins players. So he's my pick for the captain of the Atlantic Division. Second forward I put on the team is his line mate and teammate Brad Marchand. Say what you want about him, he's not exactly the cleanest player in the league. I don't appreciate that part of his game. However, he's a very skilled and talented player. So I think it'd be almost criminal to not include him on this team. So Brad Marchand takes my second pick. And then my representative of the Florida Panthers, the first of two, I'll take Jonathan Huberdeau, having an outstanding season, pacing his team in goals. I believe he's 12 goals, 18 assists right now, good for 30 points. Kind of surprising. A lot of people coming into the season thought that it would be Sergei Bobrovsky that was, the best player on Florida out of keeping their net in check. Maybe Evgeny Dadonov, maybe Mike Hoffman, maybe even Sasha Barkov, but it's been Jonathan Huberdeau, so he's got to be the pick for me. And then representing the Buffalo Sabres, the only Sabre on this team, Jack Eichel, their captain, scored 4 goals. Scored all 4 of this team's goals in their 4-2 win against Ottawa the other day. So I think, obviously not just that performance. I think he's got to be the representative there. The defense hasn't been great. The goaltending struggled, and he's been a bright spot on a Buffalo team that can still fight for a playoff spot despite some recent struggles. And then of course, Austin Matthews makes the team. It may surprise you. He is actually my only pick from the Toronto Maple Leafs as we stand right now as far as stats go. One of the best young players in our game. He's going to be a star for the next 10 to 15 years. He's going to make plenty of All-Star games, and he's not going to miss this one. The representative from the dumpster fire known as the Ottawa Senators is going to be
Not great.
Jean-Gabriel Pageau, or JG Pageau, however you want to say it. He's leading the team in goals. 13 goals, only 2 assists. It's been a bad season for Ottawa. It's going to continue to be a bad season for them. Pageau is going to be their bright spot. I don't necessarily think he is an all-star talent, but every team gets a player on the team, so
Something's got to give, right?
Someone's got to make it from every team. My last forward for the Atlantic Division is going to be Steven Stamkos. Scored his 400th career goal the other day. He's leading the Lightning in points, which has been pretty hard to do over the last few years with guys like Killorn and Braden Point, Nikita Kucherov, and of course Steven Stamkos. Pacing that team is definitely an accomplishment in and of itself. They've struggled this year. They're sitting second to last behind Ottawa right now in the standings. I think they turned that around, but currently Steven Stamkos is my only pick to crack that line. Actually, no, I take that back. I have 2 Tampa Bay Lightning on my team. And then we have 3 defensemen that I chose from the Atlantic Division. The first one from the Florida Panthers, Keith Yandle. A lot of people, again, going into the season thought that Aaron Ekblad might be the best blue liner for that team. It's actually going to be Keith Yandle. He's got the most assists of all defensemen not named John Carlson so far this season, to my knowledge. Maybe Dougie Hamilton has more now after last night. And then we're going to go to the first of 2 representatives from the Montreal Canadiens. It's going to be Shea Weber on the defensive line, football. Shea Weber, another defenseman. The guy hits like a truck and can shoot a puck even faster, if that makes sense. It doesn't really. He's got the second fastest shot in NHL history at, I believe it was 108 miles an hour.
Holy moly.
Maybe that was Chara. I don't know. I haven't looked up on my fastest shot in a while. But Shea Weber's been outstanding this season, coming back from an injury. A lot of people thought he was going to struggle when he got moved north of the border, but he's been playing pretty well up in there in Montreal. That brings me to my last defenseman and the second member of the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's going to be Victor Hedman for me. Another guy who's the best defender on a pretty good team that's been struggling recently. Another guy that can do it all, really. I know it sounds like I keep saying the same things about all these different players, but there's a reason they're all all-stars. They can all do everything in the game. He's got a really good shot, really good passer, can hit harder than almost anyone in the league. And then we're going to go to our goalies. Another Boston Bruin. I'm going to take Tuukka Rask. He's got one of the best save percentages in the league right now. He's got, I believe, the most wins. I mean, Boston's been playing really well, and our defense is part of it, but it's been Tuukka Rask really holding down the fort in the crease. He's been, I think, arguably our best player outside of David Pastrnak, all season. And then the final representative from the Atlantic Division is going to be Montreal Canadiens goaltender Carey Price. He's having a down year by his standards, but for the rest of the league, he's an elite goaltender. I think he's the only reason that the Canadiens are currently sitting where they are. they're in the top 5 in the division. I think they're currently sitting 4th. I haven't updated it since it's been a couple days, so who knows what the points happened last night where they're sitting. I think they're 4th, like I said. And that's it for the Atlantic Division. We're going to move on to the Metropolitan Division. This one was really hard for me because Columbus and New Jersey both have to have representatives, and I'm not going to lie, Ryan can attest to this. I updated this one today, and I struggled heavily with who to take off the team to include a New Jersey Devil. So it's again the same. It's the same standard as all my other teams: 7 forwards, 3 defensemen, 2 goaltenders. And I probably should have started with this. The NHL a few years ago changed their All-Star game structure. It's no longer 2 teams, West and East. There's 1 per division. They do a 3-on-3 tournament. It's actually a lot more fun to watch, in my opinion. They do a big skills competition as well. So the team captain I'm going to get to later because he's actually he's the only team captain I have that is not a forward. So the first player I have to the Metropolitan Division is probably the staple, the mainstay of the Metropolitan Division. He's been an all-star as long as I can remember, Alex Ovechkin. One of the great talents in our game. He's going to go to the Hall of Fame. If he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, it's a crime. He's having another great year. He's, again, struggled by his standards in the beginning, but he's really turned it around, and he deserves another all-star nod here, in my opinion. He is the first of 3 Washington Capitals I actually have on this team, so they are going to be heavily representative despite maybe not coming together entirely as a team so far. Selection number 2 for forwards is going to be the only New York Islander to make the squad, despite how hot they are right now, is Matthew Barzal. The Islanders are a team where they don't really rely on star power like the Capitals rely on Alex Ovechkin. They rely on their entire core to get it done every night. Their goaltending's been okay, but not much better. There's not really one standout player. If I had to pick one, it'd be Matt Barzal. The guy is a great skater. He's, again, very young talent. He's going to be similar to Austin Matthews. He's going to be a star in our league for 10 to 15 years to come, in my opinion. And he's, again, not going to miss this All-Star game. And then we're going to have our first of 2 Carolina Hurricanes representatives is going to be Andrei Svechnikov, another young player that's going to, again, I keep saying the same thing, going to be a star in our league for 10 to 15 years to come. I'm actually more excited to see his brother Evgeny when he comes up with the Detroit Red Wings in a couple years. Probably going to be ready for the NHL around 2021, 2022. So, anyway, back to Andre. He's been pacing a good Carolina Hurricanes team. He's been their spiritual leader, their offensive leader. I wouldn't be shocked if he has an A or a C on his chest next year, just with how fast this kid has matured in the league. Younger than me, I can say kid. It's fine. And then this is my first of 2 pity picks. I had to include one of the New Jersey Devils, so I went with Kyle Palmieri. He's got 7 goals, 5 assists. I'm not going to talk anymore about him. The Devils are terrible. For the Philadelphia Flyers, another struggling team, I went with Travis Konechny. He's been solid all year. He's not going to blow you away. Another borderline pity pick. The Flyers they're another team that really just they rely on the group to get it all done together. They don't worry about one particular star. The New York Rangers are Temi Panarin. He's been exactly what everyone thought he was going to be coming over, signing in the offseason. 10 goals, 10 assists, I believe, is where he's currently sitting. Could be more. And then my second and my last pity pick is going to be Pierre-Luc Dubois from the Columbus Blue Jackets. Again, that team is terrible. He's leading them in points. You got to pick someone on Columbus. I don't know. This leads me to our defensemen. We have our Metropolitan Division captain and current points leader among all defensemen is going to be John Carlson of the Washington Capitals. 3 goals, 28 assists. He's having an outstanding year. Everyone kind of knew he could do this. So he's finally going to get the chance to show throughout the rest of the season what he can do, and he's going to represent his team as an all-star captain. We're also going to take Dougie Hamilton from Carolina, another guy who's doing outstanding this year. And kind of a surprise one is going to be Tony DeAngelo, defenseman for the New York Rangers. Really came out of nowhere this season and deserves to be an all-star. And the goalies are kind of pity picks, actually, because the Metropolitan Division has had some terrible goaltending this year. It's going to be Matt Murray from the Penguins and Braden Holtby from the Capitals. Guys that can, you can possibly pin the record on how talented their team is, but they're playing all right, I guess. All right, Ryan, I'm gonna throw it over to you because this is your child this week. So
this is my child, actually. Pretty impressive stuff here. Unfortunately, we have some technical difficulties, so we won't be able to show you guys the actual visual of it. But hopefully, you guys have your phones out real quick. You're ready to show them up real quick. We have for our obscure sport of the week. I've
never
bed
heard
racing.
of this yet. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're fine.
I've
You're
never
fine.
heard of this, though.
Bed racing. So pull up the Googles, pull up the Bings for all you for all you people out
You're
there.
the only Bing user. I just want you to know
Honestly,
that.
I just want to say that it's my laptop. It's not me.
He uses
I'm
Internet
a Chrome
Explorer.
user and an
Everyone, please, in the comment section down below, you need to make fun of him for using Bing and Internet Explorer.
If
He
you want to
deserves
drag
both.
me, I probably
Drag
deserve
him.
it.
Alright.
Guilty in charge. But bed racing, it developed in the UK actually. We didn't know this, but 4 or 5 people pushing a bed basically. It's
With a person in the bed.
with a person in the bed, might I add. I don't think there's any weight requirements necessarily for the person in the bed, but basically you have people on 4 corners, and you are pushing the person in the middle while they lay down in a plank formation, and you just push them.
And how long is the race, Ryan? This is the part that really kind of blew me away.
It is a 3-kilometer race in the water too, by the way.
Yeah,
you
there's
go
land,
in the water.
There's water.
Yeah.
There's not air.
We
but-
saw. I wish we could show you guys the video, but basically, while you're pushing these guys, you have a metal bed that you're pushing. 4 people kind of doggy paddling, pretty much trying to get them to the finish line. Whoever finishes first, obviously, is the bed racing champion.
And you have to make your own bed too. You can't just like take any old bed with wheels on it. No, you have to make it. You have to make it so it floats. It's intense.
It's pretty remarkable. But hey, if you ever want to go to the UK, a little north of Leeds, right in the middle of
Right in the middle of
England. Yeah, right in the middle. So why not? Everyone goes to London. Everyone
Why don't
goes
you go
there.
race a bed?
Why don't you go bed racing,
totally
man?
different.
All right. But
Okay, so that's gonna do it for us this week. We do have
That's
Intune
it.
Radio coming up next week. We have our series and season 3 finale. It'll be the last ever episode of East Bay Benchwarmers 2 weeks from today, barring some miraculous change. We are going to end it, and we are going to be touching on the NBA and the NHL again. This time with Western Conference All Stars. Save the West is the West Coast best coast.
West Coast,
we
best
gotta
coast.
save it for last. It's the players that we grew up seeing around us. So it seemed fitting.
unfortunately, we will not be on next week, though, of course, because
Thanksgiving.
next week is Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way, everyone. But not next week, but the week after that. We will see you guys
2 weeks from today.
for East Bay Benchwarmers. And until then, we'll keep the bench warm for you.
Drift through the night, ride through the day. We gon' take flight, miles away. Driving on the highway with my window in my hat low, swerving down the lane. I swear we gon' make it back though. Hop up on the 880, the wonders of the map though. Tints up on the back though, tints up on the back though. Whipped up in my Camry, driving 80 on the dashboard. Slim up in the shotty, get that thing tucked in the side door. Drop up off at 45th, let's take a trip down Melrose. Exit in the West Slow, exit in the West Slow. Waiting on a tip from Brett, the residents all looking steady. Stash up in the trunk, we hella cautious, way to hold up there. We dodging all the police, all the sirens, they go sound it off. If they gon' try to test us, we ain't scared to let them rounds go off. Then we made a right, then we made a left. Cut off all the lights, wanna know it's clear. Red don't buzz my phone, let us know it's gone. Pull her to the spot and get to work, and you can roll with us. Drift through the night, ride through the day. We gon' take flight, miles away. Driving on the highway with my window in my hat low, swerving down the lane. I swear we gon' make it back though. Hop up on the 880, the wonders of the map though. Tints up on the back though, tints up on the back though. Hop back in my Camry and we headed back to Greenwood. Smoke that Northern Cali, we secure the bag, it feel good. Hit another lick to pass the time, you know it real hood. Tell me, do it feel good? Tell me, do it feel good? Revving up the engine, let it go and hit a rubber burn. We cutting up the pavement in the streets, we never gon' hurt. We mobbing in the whip, our journey begun. What you wanna learn? The streets up in a little light, crazy for a minute. The boss gon' keep on calling, saying like it's something missing. My homie pull around the post and looking like he tripping, but fuck it, just don't kill the vibe. You acting like a baby. I'm just chilling with my double cup and sit back while I'm sipping. Ride through the day, drift through the night. Headed to the club, the vodka way up in my line. My 97 stay in motion, keep that gas and we gon' fly. Drift through the night, ride through the day. We gon' take flight, miles away. Driving on the highway with my window in my hat low, swerving down the lane. I swear we gon' make it back though. Hop up on the 880, the wonders of the map though. Tints up on the back though, tints up on the back though. We ride, we go to gas. We ride, we go to gas. We ride, we go to gas. We ride, we go to gas.
Young Donor.
Hey you, hi, how are you doing? Oh, I'm fine, yeah, it's been a minute, isn't it? Nice outside. Where you working now? How's the family?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to East Bay Live. You can stream us on YouTube. Also, follow us on social media, Instagram and Twitter at East Bay Live. And don't forget to follow Intune Radio on Instagram. So, it's your host, Char Simone, and we have a special guest here with us today. So, I'm going to introduce him, or let him introduce himself. So,
All right, hello everyone. My name, I go by the name of Amon. I'm a communications major here at East Bay, and I've been pursuing music for about 3.5, 4 years, and I just dropped my first project, Somber, so check me out.
dope. So, tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into music. Like, what inspired you?
So it's funny. I always was around music. I grew up in a musical kind of household. My dad played the drums and stuff like that. But how I actually started to sing was because my sister, she would sing very loudly over, like, you know how like stuff plays on the radio.
Right.
You got that one person that's always singing, like over singing the song.
Right.
She used to do that. So I kind of started to sing to kind of get on her nerves, and then people were like, "Oh, you could kind of sing." So then I just
You
kept
can
doing
kind
it.
of sing. I think you can sing very well. So, I wanted to know, when did you realize you wanted to start doing music full time? Because I know that you're a student, but you put a lot of work into, producing music, writing music, and creating visuals as well.
So I pretty much have always, from day one, always wanted to be a singer. But when I started to really take music seriously, I would probably say I was a senior in high school, and I took a guitar class, and I had a midterm, and I pretty much sucked at the midterm. But there was a classmate who was like, hey, we should like try to write songs and stuff like that. And so I started to do that, and then I was like, oh, I could write music too. So then I just, ever since then, that was just my goal, and I finally got here some years later. So yeah.
That's awesome. I really like to see artist development, especially from you, because we actually know each other, guys.
Yeah.
So I did see him when he was first kind of starting to let people know that, I'm an artist and I want to do music. So I recently just saw that you had a showcase, and it was actually packed. A lot of people came to it, bought CDs and everything. So I just wanted to know how you felt in that moment, and what was that moment to you like?
You know what? I didn't even really get a chance to process it because I was really, really stressed out. But yeah, a lot of people came out to support me for my project release, and it was a good turnout. It was about like 40 to 50 people that came, and I was able to sell shirts, sell merch, play the album for people. And it was a pretty good time. It was one of the biggest accomplishments that I've had this year, so I'm very proud of that. And I'm very happy that people came out to support me because they didn't have to go out their way to take time to support me.
Well, I'm proud of you too.
Thank
The
you.
event looks so dope and so awesome, and The visuals, I loved it all.
Thank you.
So, I know that the audience is curious. What upcoming projects do you have coming out? Because I know that you just recently dropped a project. So, what new ones are you working on?
So, as she said, I recently just dropped my first mixtape last week. It's called Somber. It's a 7-track mixtape, and basically, I would like to describe it as a audio autobiography of my life, the past 4 years. And then I dropped some videos. So coming up, I probably got another video coming out, and then we're pushing right into the next project.
That's lit. You should show them the album cover. His album cover, y'all, is so cute. I love it. So if y'all can see it. But yeah, it's like a Jeep, or it actually looks like a G Cube. You know that box cube, the Mercedes box cube, and it has like an anime picture of him, and it's a somber.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love the album cover. Very unique and special.
Thank you.
So, do you have any local shows that you're attending or performing at coming up? Or
I do.
in the
but
works?
They're in the works.
Okay.
So if you want to know more about that, you could follow me on my social media at Aman Official, AHMAN Official. So yeah, stay tuned.
Awesome. So I have a music video for you guys that I want you to play. It's a new visual from Aman. And wait, did I say that right?
Aman.
I'm so sorry. I keep saying that so wrong.
People mess it up all the time.
But it's a really unique name. So I want to play this video for you guys. It's his new music video that is now on YouTube. So I hope you guys like it.
Why everybody got so much to say about? From what I'm hearing, I'm the talk around town. Got no idea why they hate so hard on. If only the picture could be clearer, then they'll see me through the mirror. Said I'm just like you. I got a past that surrounds me and some demons I've been chasing. Said I'm just like you. If you just listen to me, maybe I'll make you believe. I'm fed up. All this madness, I'll be used to love. All this bullshit, it gets rough. I can't stand it here, where's the love? Let me be, you let me breathe. Just let me be free. Just let me be me. I just wanna see. Maybe if I change the world, only then my dad will love. I just wanna see. Hoping one day when I make it, my mama can make a way back home. Maybe if I change the world on my own, I'll be fine. I gotta make it on my own, gotta make a way. I'm fed up. All this madness, I'll be used to love. Off this bullshit, it gets rough. I can't stand it here, where's the love? Let me be, can you let me breathe? Just let me be free. Just let me be me. You bitches tight cause a young nigga didn't came up. Switch lanes, know I'm paid up. Had to show 'em what I'm made of. Now I'm headed for the top, heard 'em gon' pop, now you wanna change up. They had a lot to say about the way I switched things up. Barely started knowing they ain't ready for the wave up. I then went from crack baby to stop, headed straight for billboards. Didn't think I'd make it far, soon be on a world tour. If I dream it, I'ma make it. When I see it, I'ma take it. Now give me my just do or you can leave me. Be easy, I'm out.
Video. I know I did, and it was super dope. So I just wanted to ask you, what are some of the challenges you face so far as being an artist?
So one of the biggest challenges that I face currently is school, balancing school
Right.
and trying to pursue music. That's definitely something that I'm still working on, but it's a learning lesson. And then besides that, it'll probably be just the fact that I'm doing it all by myself. I don't have like a lot of support financially, so I'm having to work and then go to school and then jump in the studio, or I gotta go and shoot a music video, I gotta go and do all these different things. And then as well, being independent, you kind of are in charge of everything, like so from the track list, uploading all the stuff,
Right.
making sure that you have all the layouts for your album covers, getting the shirts, all that stuff. That's all me
Merchandise, right.
by myself. So it's definitely hard to balance kind of pursuing a career in music and trying to work and go to school. So yeah.
Yeah, but hard work always pays off in the end.
It does.
That is definitely official. So, is there any advice that you would want to give any upcoming artists that, want to pursue a career, but also college students and working full time? What advice would you give them?
I definitely would say that you need to be on top of your schedule, because if you are not, you're going to miss out on certain things. So you definitely want to have a planner, or just keep on track of all the different tasks that you're responsible for, and then as well try to be punctual and professional as possible. And I just say go for it. For the most part, I didn't really know where to record. I didn't know like all those things. Like I didn't really have any advice. I kind of just had to like find all those avenues by myself. But definitely when you're in like academic environments, it's a lot easier for you to find different resources, because there's a whole bunch of people who want to do the same thing that you want to do, right?
Right. Yeah, honestly, I think it's just about standing out, finding your own uniqueness, and rolling with it to your best advantage. So I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to come out here to talk with us.
Thank you so much.
Please drop all your socials and let them know where they can purchase your album and everything.
All right, so my project Somber is on SoundCloud, and you can find that at Aman Official, AHMAN Official, as well. The lead single is on iTunes, so you could just look up Aman Know Me. That's the name of the song. And yeah, IG, Twitter, all that stuff is Aman Official. I try to make it as simple as possible so that there's no confusion. It's not a different name. You could go in any search and just find me. So yeah. Thank y'all for having me.
All right, thank you so much. You can follow us on East Bay Live, Instagram and Twitter. And then don't forget to follow Intune Radio on Instagram. And that wraps up for our show. We hope to see you guys next week. Bye.
Texting my phone every 30 minutes. Swear you don't get it, man. What is it? You know that I be working, I be so busy. Chasing after all these millions got me so dizzy. And before I leave the house, I gotta grab my glizzy. Diamonds made under pressure, that's why I'm so pretty. Attitude kinda cocky, yeah, I'm so sedity. But that's why he fought with me, realest in the city. Nah, I can't fuck with love, yeah, this shit too sticky. Yeah, all my friends are dead, yeah, long
the Benji. All my exes fuck with me, yes, no hard feelings. But if he texts me like he miss me, then it's no dealing. I came up and you changed up, that's too much. Fake love, now you can't hang with us, yeah. I came up and you changed up.